Please.
Buenos días, me encuentro con mi buen amigo Dmytro Kuleba, al que agradezco enormemente que haya estado hoy aquí en Toledo durante la presidencia española del Consejo de la Unión Europea, explicándonos de primera mano la situación en Ucrania. Hemos todos saludado la valentía y el coraje de todos los ucranianos, empezando por el presidente Zelensky y por el propio ministro Dmytro Kuleba, para conseguir aquello que todos deseamos y que todos hemos trasladado en la sala, que Ucrania sea lo antes posible un país libre, independiente, soberano dentro de sus fronteras internacionalmente reconocidas y sobre todo en paz. Tenemos todos que hacer un esfuerzo para comunicar al resto del mundo lo inaceptable de la agresión ilegal Rusia a Ucrania. Todo lo que contiene de imperialismo esa agresión, y al mismo tiempo tenemos que mantener la ayuda a Ucrania en todos los formatos necesarios, ayuda humanitaria para la población, como hace España recientemente. 55 millones de euros han ido destinados a la protección de las escuelas y la reconstrucción ucraniana, ayuda militar para defender esa soberanía y esa integridad territorial y también a tantos civiles indefensos, y una ayuda política en unos momentos en los que, bajo presidencia española de la Unión Europea, en octubre tendremos la opinión de la Comisión y tendremos que tomar decisiones muy importantes para continuar en el camino de Ucrania en su entrada hacia la Unión Europea, en el que por supuesto contará con el apoyo de España, como lo cuenta en todos los aspectos en los que sea necesario, y también en ese camino hacia ser parte de la familia europea lo antes posible. Y por último, no tenemos que olvidar que los crímenes que se están cometiendo desde el inicio de la agresión rusa en Ucrania no pueden quedar impunes. Y todos tenemos que hacer los mayores esfuerzos para que se puedan juzgar y aquellos responsables por esos actos y esos crímenes respondan ante ellos, ante la justicia internacional. Así que thank you very much, dear Dmytro, for being here today, for changing with us in the way forward for Ukraine and in the best way for continuing supporting you and helping you in all ways possible, including your path towards the European Union.
Thank you. So, thank you for your hospitality, for your leadership, and we had a very meaningful conversation with ministers. And the main conclusion that I can make is that there will be many important decisions that Ukraine and EU will turn into reality between now and December. And I think we can speak about the diplomatic counteroffensive that we are going on, because there is energy, there is will, and there is understanding of what and how should be done among EU ministers. We want to end the year with a very ambitious achievement, which is opening accession to a decision by the European Union to open accession talks with Ukraine. It's possible, we are moving towards that direction, and of course we will remain very closely associated with the Spanish presidency. And I appreciate the words of support that José Manuel has extended today, and the promise to steer this process in the most constructive and result-oriented way. And I also take this opportunity to thank you for everything you personally and your government and the government you belong to has done for Ukraine and for Europe since the beginning of the large-scale invasion. There were so many cases where I didn't have to ask you because you were coming up with the initiative. You were not waiting for requests, you were proposing how else can we help, and we will always be grateful for that. So, media always like details, and to be more specific, right, you all nod in response, that's natural. We agreed to coordinate our steps and communication with countries of Asia, Africa, South America, to get them on board of the peace formula proposed by President Zelensky. We discussed some very specific measures that we will be taking to achieve this goal. We will further strengthen the instrument called Grain from Ukraine as a way to provide African and Asian countries with grain in the form of humanitarian aid. We had a very successful launch last year. We want to repeat it. Our defense industries will get together in Kiev to discuss ramping up production and co-production of weapons needed for not only for Ukrainian army to continue its counteroffensive, but also for your armies to fill your stocks and to become stronger. And with this, we also agreed to continue conversation on the tribunal. We all indicated interest in bringing Russia to account. I'm very grateful for the interest that was indicated by EU member states in doubling efforts on the return of Ukrainian children forcibly deported or abducted by Russia. And one last thing on grain, it's the grain corridor. We want Black Sea Grain Initiative to be fully restored. We agreed today on the ways we will be extending land corridors, and I appreciate that Commission is willing to do it. Ukraine also believes, and I conveyed it to member states, that the alternative sea grain corridor that does not involve Russia is possible. We have to make it function in a sustainable way. We can achieve that together, and when we do it, the world food security will not depend on Russian hunger games and blackmail. So we agreed today that we will keep working on looking into the ways and work on how to make this grain corridor stronger. I will stop here. Thank you once again for this invitation, and as I said, a very meaningful conversation. I leave Toledo with very specific decisions that we as ministers have to work on to allow our leaders to seal them and give green light. We will be very busy in the coming weeks and months, but I'm more than ever certain in our overall success.
Do you regret that you have always to ask the German government if you need something instead of the Spanish proposal?
Well, it doesn't happen this way all the time. German government also makes some proposals and offers to us. The discussion that we are having now with the German government is on providing Taurus long-range missiles. France and the United Kingdom already did so. There is really not a single objective argument against making this decision, and I constructively, kindly, without putting any pressure, call on the government of Germany to make this decision that makes every sense, because it will help our counteroffensive and therefore it will help to end the war sooner. By the way, speaking beyond Germany, I also took this opportunity to call on all EU member states who operate F-16s to join the Netherlands, Denmark and Norway in contributing to the aviation coalition, not only in trainings, but also with planes. This is something that is easy to do now. And I hope that my call will be heard and we will continue working with them to see more planes contributed to this coalition.
Mr. Kuleba, are you happy in terms of contribution of Spain in terms of arms right now to Ukraine, or you need more? And if that's the case, what else do you need?
When we win the war, I will come out and publicly say we don't need more. As long as we are fighting, we need more, and you have to take it as we're not doing it out of whim or because we are greedy or because we want to get to more than we need. No, we need everything to win, to restore peace in Europe. So far, the Spanish government has provided us with the equipment and weapons that we needed. Spain was, by the way, one of the first to deliver its Hawk systems last autumn when the missile attacks started. I mentioned, I think I can be open here. I said to José Manuel today that we would be grateful for delivery of more tanks, armored vehicles, and air defense systems. This is something that we are asking every country to focus on, and Spain is no exception.
Sorry, just a second. To follow on that question, I will do it in Spanish for the Spanish press. He tenido un encuentro bilateral antes de que comenzara la reunión, un desayuno de trabajo con el ministro Kuleba, en el que hemos analizado todos los aspectos y le he vuelto a garantizar que España ayudará y apoyará a Ucrania tanto tiempo como sea necesario en todos los aspectos. No me gusta hablar de material militar porque esto es una guerra que está teniendo lugar y yo creo que no ayudamos a Ucrania haciéndolo, pero es público y lo saben que ante las solicitudes de Ucrania, España, como decía el ministro Kuleba, ha entregado baterías antiaéreas, ha entregado también tanques Leopards y aquellas cosas que en todo momento han estado en nuestra mano. Y esa línea no va a cambiar y así se lo he reiterado al ministro Kuleba.
Acaban de pedir más carros de combate, F-16 no tenemos, pero sí tenemos más carros de combate que se pueden acondicionar. ¿Está sobre la mesa de gobierno?
Como siempre hace el gobierno, toda petición de Ucrania se estudia y en la medida de nuestras posibilidades la hemos venido atendiendo. La voluntad de ayudar a Ucrania a defender a sus civiles indefensos, su soberanía y su integridad territorial tanto tiempo como sea necesario, está presente y no va a variar.
There was criticism over this summer that the offensive, counter-offensive, is not making enough progress, that it's not focused enough in the south. Did you hear this criticism today again, and how do you respond to that?
Criticizing the slow pace of counteroffensive equals to spitting into the face of Ukrainian soldier who sacrifices his life every day, moving forward and liberating 1 kilometer of Ukrainian soil after another. I would recommend all critics to shut up, come to Ukraine and try to liberate 1 square centimeter by themselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have to continue with the meeting.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dmytro. Thank you very much.